Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be playing some Minecraft in the background while I read you guys some fresh Reddit stories. So feel free to sit back, relax, do your chores, or just chill out while you listen. We've got some crazy drama for you today, so let's get right into it. Our first story today comes from the Am I the Asshole subreddit, posted by user nearbycomfortable79, and the title is, Am I the asshole for walking out of a dinner after being accused of supporting a taboo relationship? Hey, I'm posting on here because I need people's opinions on this. It's so ridiculous and such a non issue that somehow turned into something much bigger. For reference, this happened on Thursday evening. We are all in our early 20s and all names are fake. Thursday was our friend Sarah's birthday. To celebrate, our friend group decided to go out for dinner. There were about 10 of us. Everyone was in a good mood, and it was really nice to just talk to everybody for hours, especially since I kind of had a stressful week. Hours into the dinner, we landed on the topic of TV shows that we were watching. Our friend Amy mentioned a show that I had also watched. As soon as she brought it up, I said that I really liked the show and that the acting, writing, and directing was top notch. Mary chimed in and said that she really didn't like the show. Cool, to each their own. Mary then asked me how I felt about the main romantic pairing in the show. I responded that I liked it and thought the romance was cute. And guys, this is where the drama started. For context, the main romantic pairing is between the male lead and the female lead. There are some people online who have interpreted that these characters are related to each other. I do not. But I know that people are free to think whatever they want and honestly thought that this topic was harmless. Well, I was wrong. Mary took offense to me saying that I liked the romance. She flat out asked me if I supported, let's just call it taboo family relationships. I said, of course not, as the characters are not related. She started raising her voice, saying that they are related and that me supporting their pairing means I support that kind of stuff. Mary then said that I should educate myself before saying stupid garbage. I was dumbfounded. I thought she was joking, but she was really angry with me about this. She told me to rethink my values because supporting that makes me a horrible person. I told her she was making harmful accusations over a fictional TV show. Our other friends were telling her to stop, including the birthday girl Sarah, but she kept claiming that I was a disgusting person. She then claimed I was anti-LGBTQ, since the male lead is bisexual but still ended up with a woman. Mary just wouldn't stop saying awful things like this. So here's where I may be the jerk. I left Sarah's dinner. My friends were asking me to stay, but I felt so uncomfortable, so I just paid for what I ordered and left. Many of my friends reached out to me on Friday to ask if I was okay. Some of them, while they understood why I was upset, said that it was wrong of me to leave Sarah's birthday dinner and that I should have just ignored what Mary was saying and stuck around. I feel like they may be right, and that I may have ruined her birthday by getting up and leaving, but I felt like I couldn't stay there with Mary throwing crazy accusations at me over something that doesn't even matter. So, am I the jerk? Honestly, guys, Mary sounds absolutely exhausting to be around. If someone started screaming at me in a public restaurant and accusing me of crazy things over a fictional TV show, I would have walked right out too. You definitely aren't the jerk here. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Alright guys, for our next story we are switching things up. If you need a palate cleanser after that last crazy drama, this one is guaranteed to hit you right in the feels. Grab some tissues because this one is incredibly wholesome. This one is titled, They Kept Meeting Their Birth Mom, But She Didn't Know, from Redditor u/no dinner invite. She had me when she was 14, and I, 24M, was given up for adoption. My parents told me about her growing up. I still have the letter she wrote me that she asked if they could give it to me if they wanted. It's crazy reading it sometimes and knowing it was a literal child who wrote it saying she's sorry she couldn't be my mommy, but she hopes I'm happy. She was open to having contact, but we moved for my dad's job when I was 11 and then it seemed impossible to find her. But luckily, I did. She's working at this small restaurant and I keep going, but she doesn't know it's me. We talk sometimes, and she seems like a nice lady. Sometime when she says something like, "Do you want a refill, honey?" or uses another term like that, I want to tell her. IDK why it makes me nervous. We talk sometimes and she seems really genuine. If it's not super busy, she's more open to talking about random stuff. I literally drive 2 hours to come eat at this place just to see her. And it's like she knows me already because I'm there once or two times a week for the past 3 months, so she always says hi with a big smile. But man, if only she knew. Update. Well, I did it. I told her. And yeah, it was pretty heavy. My heart was even beating fast. I kept trying to think how to tell her. Many of the comments on my last post here mentioned writing her a letter, just how she wrote a letter for me. Originally, that was the plan, but for me, it felt like I needed to say it. Oh, really quick, I want to say thanks to everyone for their love and support, mostly to all the birth parents out there who shared their stories with me. That's what really helped push me to have the courage to confront her. It meant so much, so thanks. Everything happened day before yesterday, by the way. I did wait for her to be done with her shift, and that was when they were closing the restaurant already, and waited in the parking lot. We said hi when she saw me first, but then I told her there was something serious that she needed to know. First told her sorry for keeping it from her this long. She didn't react until I actually pulled out her letter, and she started bawling from there, like screaming and crying at the same time, and didn't even have to finish the whole "I'm your son" speech. She just saw it and knew. It was crazy. Next thing I know, she's hugging me instantly, but then she pulled back and asked if it's okay to hug me. Of course it is, and we're just there hugging and crying in the parking lot. It hit her hard though. Her legs gave out for a second, so I had to actually hold her up while she's still hugging me for a minute. What really got me was her saying to me, "Look how big you got." Also, hearing her cry made me cry too. She went back to open the restaurant up. She wouldn't take no for an answer. We had coffee, ate a slice of their pie inside, and talked. So much stuff we talked about. She told me the second time I came to the restaurant, she got a feeling, but for her, it was hard to believe it was me. So that feeling she had was pushed way down. Because she told me for years after I was adopted, she saw kids that would be my age and used to think they were me. Then she would be crying in public. It messed with her mind a lot and made her depressed, so she didn't want to do the same when she saw me, getting her hopes up like that. She says I look so much like my biological dad when he was younger, though. We talked about him too. They stayed in contact with each other in case I ever reached out to one of them, so it would be easier to contact the other. I didn't have hope about finding my biological dad since he was never mentioned, so I'm glad they both planned for this future scenario. She told me about how they wanted to keep me, especially my biological dad. He didn't want me to be adopted, but he knew they had to because they were just kids. It took him a long time to get past it after I was born, she told me. That's why he didn't leave anything, because he didn't want to believe he might not see me again. We talked for hours, till almost 2 in the morning. They closed at 11. She just wanted to know everything about me, but her main thing was, am I happy? Were my parents good to me? Did I have a happy childhood? And I did. I told her thank you for helping to give me this life. We both cried again. She cried the most. Everything was very emotional for her. Sometimes she would look really happy, but then get sad again. After my 18th birthday, she was hoping I would find her. That's why she stayed in the same city. But since I didn't, she always thought maybe I resented her, wasn't told I'm adopted, or maybe had decided it was better not to have her around. It made me feel bad for not telling her sooner.
She told me it's not my fault, and I did right going at my own pace. Honestly, she's so sweet. The way she kept looking at me with the biggest smile, it made me emotional sometimes. Makes you think, how can someone who's been a total stranger your whole life look at you with so much love? It's wild. We learned so much about each other. She asked me if we could have dinner soon to keep talking, and if at some point in the future, if I'm interested, come over to her house so I can meet her husband. That all sounded really great. We exchanged numbers.
After I left, she sent a text telling me thank you for giving her this gift that she didn't know if it would ever come. My girlfriend came over and she hugged me while I cried. I wasn't sad, by the way. These were happy tears. Everything went better than I expected. There was still emotionally heavy stuff, but I'm still glad that we got to open up to each other. Man, I'm not gonna lie, I actually got a little teary eyed reading that one. That is just such an incredibly beautiful story. It takes so much courage to take that step and reach out, and I am so happy that it worked out perfectly for both of them. Family dynamics can be so complicated, but moments like this make it all worth it. If any of you watching have a beautiful family reunion story like this, please drop it down in the comments. I would absolutely love to read them.
Next up, we had that beautiful, emotional family reunion. For this next one, we are flipping the script completely. Grab your popcorn because this is about a childhood nightmare returning in the sweetest, most satisfying justice. This story is titled Their Childhood Bully Has Become Their Coworker. It's from Redditor u slash direct dash caterpillar 77. When I, 18F, was in fifth grade, these new twins moved to join my class. For some reason, these two kids did everything they could to make my life miserable. I think it's because I was socially unaware and a bit odd as a child, but I'm not sure. The boy twin was this very big kid who would regularly beat me up, and the girl twin would humiliate and spread rumors about me. Of course, the teachers never did anything about it. Luckily, these two went to different middle and high schools, so I wasn't bullied, and I had a pleasant time in school after that.
However, last month I got a job at a new grocery store in my neighborhood, and last week the girl who bullied me got a job at the same grocery store. At first I thought, it's been 7 years, she probably changed. But just now, a few coworkers asked me, did you really sleep with the manager so you could get hired here? I was furious and shouted, no, and asked them where they heard that. They said, the new girl told us. I don't want to go through this again. I am genuinely considering switching jobs just to get away from her. I feel so lost and helpless. Update. The last few days have been pretty chaotic. First of all, I found out she was spreading another rumor, claiming that my body was fake. I decided to take action. I sent an email to my manager telling him about how she made up a rumor claiming that I slept with him to get hired. He responded saying that this is a very serious issue and that he wanted me to come into work the next day. He also called in the bully for the same time. The manager arrived looking absolutely furious and spoke with her, me, and a few of my coworkers. After my manager spoke with her, I saw her leaving. She came up to me and was clearly incredibly angry, calling me a tattletale and some other hurtful names before she left. I asked my manager what happened at the end of my shift. He said, I spoke with her about the nonsense she was spewing. She tried acting innocent, but everyone I asked said that she was the one who made that stuff up. She's fired. We don't have to worry about her anymore. I finally stood up to her, thanks to the support I received online. I am so sure my past self would be so incredibly proud of me. Boom! That is what I'm talking about. Pure, unadulterated satisfaction. I am so incredibly proud of OP for standing up to that absolute monster of a bully. Seriously, watching those toxic people finally get what they deserve after torturing someone for years, it's just chef's kiss. We do not tolerate that here. We do not love bullies. We love justice.
Continuity is key. So next up, we have our fourth story, which was submitted by Redditor u/MacBook Couch. It's titled, "They Sat on Their Friend's Computer and Offered to Pay. Then This Happened." I had some of my friends over at my house, and one of my friends invited one of her other friends to come over. She had her MacBook negligently on my couch when I sat on it and broke it. Since it was completely my fault, I offered to pay her the money for a brand new one, and she agreed. She got it 3 years ago, and it cost $2,200 at the time. I told her I'd wire the money in a week to her bank account. She then emailed me saying that, as per our conversation, she's expecting $2,700 from me. I didn't know why she added the extra money, so I called her. She told me she is now expecting me to pay for her new upgraded MacBook since she was upgrading anyway. She said if I don't agree to do that, she'll be suing me in small claims court. Can a judge agree to that? Should I wire her the $2,200 or should I just tell her, go sue me? Update. I learned so much process thanks to all of you. Do not pay $2,700. I withdraws my initial $2,200 offer. I wrote her back, offering only to pay for the screen repair cost, around $300. She sent me an email calling me a jerk and that she's going to take me to court. I got served a few days later and went to court. I told the judge I gave her 3 options to choose from. 1. Write her a check for a new one at $2,200. 2. Get her a refurbished one from Apple or a third party. Or 3. Fix her current MacBook, since the screen is the only thing affected here, and it would cost around $300. I printed out the email I sent her and the mail she sent back refusing, demanding the $2,700 and saying we'll go to court, plus screenshots for the price quotes for new, refurbished, and a screen fix. When I told her I'd give her $2,200 for a new one, she said okay, but later came asking for $2,700 because she wants to upgrade. I tried to show him how it's clearly visible that she's trying to take advantage of me. She gave the judge an attitude almost the whole time, which helped my case. After listening to both of us, he ruled that I pay only 50% of the repair cost, since she negligently left her laptop on the couch. So I'll only be paying around $200 to $250 for the whole thing. If it weren't for you guys, I would have paid $2,200 instead of around $200. And I honestly loved her look at the end as we walked out. The internal context with you guys was total poetry. That is total satisfaction. Poetic justice, ladies and gentlemen. $200 for a broken laptop screen that she demanded $2,700 upgrade over. You just love seeing those greedy people get what they deserve. If any of you watching have a story about poetic justice like that, please drop it in the comments. We have some people to celebrate. Keeping the stories rolling, this next one comes from Redditor u/deaddrone999. It's titled, "Their Dog Ate the Neighbor's Drone." Not sure what to do. Earlier today, my neighbor came pounding on my door shouting at me. When I finally got him to stop yelling, I found out that he was flying his drone in my backyard again, and this time, my dog finally managed to catch it and destroy it. He claims this was a $900 drone, and I had to pay him right then and there. I refused and closed the door in his face. A couple hours later, police showed up to retrieve the drone. It was still in my yard, but my dog completely ignored it once it stopped buzzing and asked about the situation. The neighbor called them, stating that I refused him access to my yard to get it. That's not true. He never asked. I'm worried the neighbor will try to press charges against me for destruction of property or sue me. Will he have any legal standing? He has a history of flying his drone low over my yard to tease my dog. I have asked him to stop several times, which he always refuses, telling me that I don't own the air above my yard. I have called the police to complain once before. He was doing flybys over my dog and getting very close to hitting him. The police didn't say he couldn't fly it in my yard, but did ask him to stop doing so in order to avoid conflict. That only seemed to egg him on. Update. A small update to my neighbor flying his drone in my backyard and attacking my dog. I was served a summons by a sheriff's deputy. My neighbor decided to take me to small claims over his drone. My mother in law is a paralegal secretary, so I was able to get a free consultation with a lawyer where she works to ask some questions about what to bring. He seemed genuinely amused that my neighbor was even trying to sue. He also suggested I countersue and how I could possibly add in more damages.
He also told me that my neighbor and I technically live within 5 miles of an airport, and even though it doesn't have a tower, technically that falls under FAA regulations. I called the hotline and spoke to them about my neighbor's hobby of flying out of line of sight, flying several thousand feet in the air, flying near an airport, and made an inquiry into if he was registered to fly drones. They took my information and have called me back once, so I know they're investigating. I brought both police reports to court, as well as several photos of my backyard, photos of our shared 8-foot high privacy fence, medical bills for my dog, and a few short videos I had of him doing flybys over my dog in the past. His main argument to the judge was that I maliciously installed a table to allow my dog to jump high enough to catch his drone, which I somehow trained him to do. Which, yes, I had recently bought a new picnic table, but only so I have somewhere to sit and eat outside. I argued that his flying was causing my dog anxiety and that's what provoked it, and that my dog could have potentially died from ingesting part of the drone or if the drone hit him. In the end, he now has to pay me just under $2,000 for various vet bills, for x-rays, exams, and medication. He is also banned from flying over my property, and I installed trail cams just in case. He seems pretty upset with me, so I wanted to be careful. The only thing that could make this better is if the FAA finds a reason to fine him or take away his drones. I love it. The guy tries to sue for a $900 drone that he was flying in someone else's yard and ends up having to pay $2,000 in vet bills and gets investigated by the FAA. That maliciously installed picnic table argument to the judge is absolutely hilarious. You just can't make this stuff up. Let me know what you guys think about this one in the comments.
Moving right along, we have a story from Redditor u/1-fudge3629. This one is titled, "Their Mother-in-Law Gifted Them Laser Tattoo Removal." Just found this subreddit and had to share this story. My husband, 43M, and I, 31F, have been married for 3 years, together for 6. Obviously, there is an age gap between my husband and I, which has never been an issue for us. My mother-in-law, however, has always greatly disapproved and likes to talk to me like I am a rebellious teenager instead of her son's life partner. A big issue for her is the fact that I have tattoos. I love all my tattoos. They are well done and a huge part of my identity. I can't imagine myself without them, and my husband loves how they look on me. My mother-in-law made a few comments while we were dating, but my husband told her privately to drop it. 3 years ago, my husband and I hosted our families for my birthday dinner. It was our first big get-together after getting married, and everyone was nice enough to bring me a gift. I was going to open them after everyone left, but she handed me an envelope at the dinner table and insisted I open it immediately. Inside was a card and a gift certificate to a local tattoo removal business for $500. I was confused and asked her what this was for. She said that since I was a married woman now and planning to have kids, she assumed I would want my tattoos removed. Both my husband and I were kind of taken aback and stunned. I half-heartedly thanked her and the party continued. Later, my husband called her and told her off. He insisted she take it back and get her money back. She absolutely refused and insisted I would want it someday. 3 years later, her $500 is sitting in my kitchen junk drawer, and I've added 3 more tattoos to the collection. Haha. Update. Thank you so much for all the great suggestions on what to do with the gift certificate. I actually have a friend who is the director of a restorative justice organization. I asked her if she had any clients with hate symbols they would like removed, and it turns out she works with a guy who has a highly offensive hate symbol on his arm that he hides every day because he is so ashamed. This is particularly significant and powerful for me because I'm Jewish. Anyway, I am dropping it off today, and I'm really pleased that something that started as a disrespectful slight from my mother in law turned into this. Thank you, Reddit. Wow, talk about turning trash into absolute treasure. That mother in law thought she was being so petty and insulting, and instead, she unknowingly funded the removal of a hateful symbol and helped someone turn their life around. And the fact that the original poster is Jewish makes that poetic justice absolutely top tier. Honestly, I would send the mother in law a thank you card telling her exactly what her money paid for. Moving right into the next one, we have a story from Redditor u/Jimothy is your uncle. It's titled, Their Girlfriend Took Their Vintage Car to the Scrapyard. I'll try to keep this short. I had a 1967 Impala four-door that I bought in February 2019. A couple months ago, I bought my first house that had a 2.5 car garage. I moved the car in and started tearing it down for a complete restoration. I had the body in one bay and the chassis in another, plus the whole garage filled with parts. About 2 months ago, my girlfriend came to live with me, and the whole time she has hated that car. She wants to park in the garage, but I have 2 acres of land with a lot of nice places to park under shady trees. Or hell, even in the barn if it has to be inside. I tell her tough luck, it's my house and it's not like I can just throw it back together real quick. Anyway, I was out of town for a couple days on a business trip. When I got back, my girlfriend was all smiles. Making me food all the time, doing all the chores, all that. I thought maybe she just was happy to have me home, but then I realized that I didn't see her car in its usual spot. I asked her where she parked, and she said not to worry because she parked in the garage. I asked how, and she told me to go check it out. Turns out that while I was gone, she hired some people to come over and move everything related to that car, including the drivetrain, body, and chassis, and all parts, and take it to the local dump and scrapyard. I was absolutely dumbfounded. I had spent over $11,000 on that car, including new parts, services, and the car itself. I told her that I was going to be taking her to court for that, and she brushed me off like I was being dramatic. I told her that it's done between us and to pack her things and leave. I admit I was really angry, but I did end up getting a lawyer. And as I have all the receipts for all that money spent, and I have her on my house's security cam footage letting the guys in and watching them take it all, I think I can win. Her family and friends are absolutely blowing me up, saying it's just a stupid old piece of junk and that she cannot pay back all that money I spent, and that I should just let it go. But I have been putting all my time, effort, and money into that car for a year and a half now, and I am absolutely going to get justice for what she did. Am I the jerk? Update. Went to the police station last night, was told to come back in the morning. Just got back and filed an official report against her for grand larceny and grand theft auto. I showed them all the receipts I had for the car and the footage of her letting the guys come and take it, as well as the title for the vehicle in my name. They said they will be in contact with all 3 parties soon, and they will hopefully be able to recover some or all of the car. Just have to wait now. Huge update. They found my car. The junkyard guys apparently were in the middle of hiding it when the police came to ask them questions. It was on a forklift, and they were going to put it on top of a pile of cars that was hidden behind more piles of cars. They said it was theirs and they had the title, but obviously didn't have the title for it. And since they matched the VIN on the chassis and body to the VIN on my title, it was obviously mine. I know at least one person there has been arrested. I think he was in the camera footage I talked about earlier. They also told me they would be looking into this specific junkyard for any other vehicles reported stolen. They said they haven't been able to get in contact with my ex just yet, but they're working on it. I'm just so glad they found my car. Luckily, I made quite an album of pictures detailing me tearing down the car, so I can use that to prove what parts they had were mine. Police haven't let me take it back home yet, as they say it is evidence, so hopefully I can get it back eventually. Thank you all so much for the support and advice. She is going to be all right. Can you even imagine the absolute sheer panic of walking into your garage and seeing your entire restoration project just gone? That ex girlfriend is beyond entitled, and the fact that her family defended her is mind blowing. But the karma here is so sweet. Those junkyard guys thought they scored a free classic car, and instead, they scored felony charges. I really hope the ex gets hit with the full weight of the law for grand theft auto. What would you guys do if someone threw away your $11,000 project? Keeping the flow going, this next one comes from Redditor u slash throw ra do a stink. It's titled, Their Boyfriend Won't Stop Saying They Smell Bad. I have been with my boyfriend for over a year, and everything has been great except for one thing. Every single day, at least once, he will tell me that I stink and smell of body odor. When we met, I showered every day, applied regular deodorant in the morning, brushed my teeth 3 times a day. Now I am so paranoid about smelling bad that I shower at least twice a day. I apply new industrial strength deodorant every few hours. I even have a reminder on my phone, perfume, and I brush my teeth anytime I eat or drink something that isn't water. I feel like I'm going crazy. I didn't think I smelled bad in the beginning, and I don't think I smell bad now, but I obviously smell bad to him, right? I'm that weirdo that keeps sneakily smelling their own armpits. I have been to the doctor, and he has said there is nothing medically wrong.
It has honestly gotten to the point where I literally shove my armpit in friends and family's faces asking if I smell bad. They all say I don't smell at all. One friend even said I smelled too clean, like a soap store. I am getting so paranoid. He won't cuddle or anything when he says I smell. I really don't know what more I can do. Update. I waited for him to make a comment this morning so I could talk to him. It was less than an hour after waking up that he said, "Wow, you stink." I had already showered and put on deodorant. I snapped and asked what exactly was he smelling, because at this point I'm one of the cleanest people on the planet, and if I still smell bad to him, then we should just break up. He got all panicked and upset. I eventually got out of him that this is what his father always said to his mother. Apparently, his father told him that it was a surefire technique to have a woman never leave you because she will feel too low to cheat, will love only you, and will always be clean. Needless to say, his father is wrong. He's packing his things and moving out of my house today. That is straight up psychological manipulation. He actively tried to destroy her self esteem and drive her crazy just to control her, all because of some incredibly toxic advice from his dad. That is completely unhinged behavior. Huge props to the original poster for snapping out of it, realizing her worth, and throwing the whole Nan out. The trash literally took itself out today. Moving right along into our next story, this one is submitted by Redditor u slash funeral underscore GF. It's titled, Parents Want Them to Break Up After Meeting Each Other at a Funeral. Me, 27 female, and Kelly, 27 female, have been dating for 3 months. My grandfather died earlier this year from a disorder he'd been battling for years, and 3 months ago, we had a socially distanced funeral and wake for him. While there, I met Kelly and really hit it off with her. Kelly's grandfather had been my grandpa's best friend, and Kelly's dad and my mom had grown up as good friends until they moved away from each other and married other people. Kelly and I had never met before, and after dating for a few months, we decided to go public. We thought our parents would be thrilled. Wrong. My mom completely lost her mind at me, screaming that Kelly's dad was practically her brother, and I was basically dating my cousin. She also said that dating someone I met at a funeral was super inappropriate and a disgrace to my grandfather's memory. Kelly's parents have been telling her basically the same thing. Kelly and I are both really confused. My mom and her dad moved away before either of us were born, and the whole point of the wake, since my family is extremely Irish, was to drink and celebrate my grandfather's memory. Is there some kind of taboo I'm breaking that I'd never heard of? I like Kelly a lot, but I'm not sure it's worth this kind of massive drama. My family's never reacted like this to any other girl I've dated. Update. I wasn't expecting so many responses, needless to say, or for so many people to say that a family taboo like that is okay. No. Kelly and I discussed things, and she'd gotten similar advice elsewhere on the internet. We decided, though, that we'd first confront my mom and her dad with the threat of getting DNA tested first.
We arranged to meet in a neutral place earlier today. The people who guessed that my mom and Kelly's dad used to be involved were right. They were high school sweethearts, but my mom went to college and her dad joined the military. My mom promised to wait for him and they'd get married when they had a better idea of his future. Except my mom met my dad during her first semester at college, sent a breakup letter to Kelly's dad, and they never saw each other again until my grandfather's funeral. It's still incredibly sore between them, and they hated the idea of Kelly and me dating because it would put them into regular contact with each other. Kelly and I told them it was 30 years ago and they need to get over it, and after some wrangling, both agreed. No affairs, no family taboos, just a jilting 30 years ago. Kelly and I are still dating. Wow, what a massive plot twist. They had everyone thinking there was some dark, secret family history, but it turns out the parents just had a messy breakup 30 years ago and couldn't handle seeing each other again. Imagine almost ruining your kid's happiness just to avoid your high school ex. I'm so glad the original poster and Kelly stood their ground and told them to get over it.
Keeping the momentum going, let's dive into our next post. This one was submitted by Redditor u/throwaway347325, and it's titled, Boyfriend Woke Her Up at 2 a.m. to Make Him Dinner. So I became official with this guy a couple months ago. He was sweet, kind, funny, gorgeous, the usual stuff. Everything was fine. We'd stay at each other's places, have date nights, general relationship stuff. In short, no red flags. A couple beige ones here and there, but everyone has those. Then came the other night. He's currently having to pick up the slack at his job due to multiple people quitting. We decided to spend the weekend at my place as his roommates can be quite loud and he needed to concentrate on fixing a system at his job so he can remotely work. Friday is fine. We stay in between his working, we do the usual couple stuff. Saturday comes and something has gone wrong and the stress is doubled. So he isn't eating anything I make, which is fine. I simply remind him there are leftovers in the fridge. By 11 p.m., he's still working, so I head to bed. I am then startled awake by him at 2 a.m., shaking me, telling me he's hungry now. Confused, I remind him about the leftovers and turn over to go back to sleep, but he gets grumpy and tells me I need to make him something fresh, now. I'm honestly completely confused and so sleepy while he rattles on about coconut shrimp or something. Still half asleep, I just stare at him as I try to work out what on earth is happening. I'm guessing my silence pissed him off as he started having a go at me for not doing my duty as his girlfriend. That woke me up fully, and I told him to get out of my house. His attitude changed then, and he was apologizing, but I just repeated myself, and eventually he left the room. I followed him, picked up his stuff, put it into a bag, and once again told him to get out. He looked like a deer in headlights. He kept trying to say sorry and hug me, and it was only when I threw his car keys into his arms that he realized I was serious and left. This was Sunday morning. It's now Monday night, and I still refuse to speak to him. He's tried calling and texting, but I'm honestly just annoyed and dumbfounded. I know I'll have to speak to him at some point, but I don't want to. He's an idiot. If or when I do speak to him, I'll update. For now, I'm going to bed. Update. Holy sweet Jeebus, that's a lot of notifications. Thank you for your overwhelming support. Glad to know I'm not the only one who thinks this is stupid. Also to the ones who said I should have just done it or agreed with the man-child, thank you. I needed a laugh today. On to the update. He came into my job to talk and explained that his friends saw a video of a woman being woken up to cook for her man, and they decided to test it out on their partners as a loyalty test. So my initial judgment of him being an idiot was correct. He was surprised when I broke up with him, but he was calm and accepting, albeit sad. Either way, that's over with. To answer a few concerns, nope, no drugs, just bad judgment. No mental health concerns. Yes, he's stressed, but it's surface stress that'll be fine once his work hires some new people, I'm sure. Honestly, not my concern anymore. Someone mentioned unconditional love. The relationship was less than 3 months. Chill out. Seriously though, thank you for even taking the time to read my sleepy ramblings. I'm gonna buy myself a nice bottle of wine once I've finished work as a thank you to myself for not settling. Until next time. Imagine throwing away a perfectly good relationship over a stupid internet loyalty test trend. Absolute clown behavior. The fact that he actually woke her up at 2 a.m. demanding coconut shrimp and expected her to just do it because of some video his friends watched is hilarious. Good for her for literally packing his bags and kicking him out right on the spot. Never settle for someone who tests you like that, guys. Keeping the momentum going, let's dive into our next post. This one was submitted by Redditor u/qualityproof, and it's titled, "Their Husband Caught Them Reenacting a Scene from Lord of the Rings." Since when I was little, I loved reenacting movies I loved. I would jump around the house playing Spider-Man or whatever. Back then, it was a normal child thing. But the thing is, I am doing it still. It's like a form of relaxation for me, I guess. So today I got back home from work and I still had an hour before my husband would come home from work. So I closed the shutters a little to create an ambiance and played the Lord of the Rings soundtrack on YouTube. It was time for me to reenact the scene when Frodo and Sam are going to Mount Doom. So I am there playing Frodo in the living room, music filling the room, and I hear from the doorframe, "What are you doing?" My husband stood there in full suit, looking at me a little suspicious. I didn't hear him coming at all because of the music, and on top of that, he came half an hour early. So in my head, I was like, shoot, what do I do? So I stopped the music and said, "I was just dancing, Lord of the Rings, you know?" He replied, "I thought you hate dancing." At this point, I was red as a carrot, embarrassed, because my husband just caught me shouting, "Destroy it! Now! Throw it in the fire!" He started laughing, but I still feel so stupid and weird. It's a weird thing to do, I know, but it gives me happiness. It's a rest for me. I feel so childish, though. Update. Yeah, okay, this kinda blew up. I think I owe you all an update. So as many of you have suggested, I told him. I told him it helps me release stress and anxiety and feels basically like rest. He actually said he finds it pretty neat, and I don't have to feel embarrassed at all. My relief can't be described in words. He said he would like to have a hobby like that to help him release stress, so I told him we can try to do it together. He said it's not his thing and he would probably feel awkward, which is totally fine. He suggested he would call me a couple minutes before getting home so he wouldn't spook me again, and asked me if I wouldn't like to read him the first LOTR, he never read it, with the voiceover. So I did a couple pages. He fell asleep on a couch, of course still in full suit LMAO. Well, that turned out to be incredibly wholesome. We all have our quirky ways to decompress, and honestly, a husband who supports your Mount Doom mission is definitely a keeper. What about you guys? Do you have any secret hobbies you'd be embarrassed to get caught doing? Or what movie scene would you reenact in your living room? Expose yourselves down in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more Reddit stories. Keeping the momentum going, let's dive into our next post. This one was submitted by Redditor u/throwrawwhythehell, and it's titled, "Their Best Friend Confessed Their Love 2 days Before the Wedding." I've been with my fiance for 3 years, engaged for a little over a year. My best friend and I have known each other since freshman year of college. This morning, I woke up to a long text from him, sent around 6 a.m. Basically, it was him pouring his heart out. He said he's been in love with me for years, but always hoped I'd end up breaking up with my fiance and finally noticing him. He asked me to call off the wedding and run away with him. I just feel gross and sad. I have no feelings for him beyond platonic love. I haven't even told my fiance. I don't want him to have to worry about me so soon to our wedding. What's worse is that he's become my fiance's friend too. I'm pretty pissed that my friend chose such an unfortunate time to cause me such distress. There were so many times over the years he could have just told me how he felt. But waiting until right before I'm married? Like I would just cancel my wedding because of a goddamn text? I want to tell him not to come. I can't trust that he wouldn't try to pull something. Update. My husband, I love being able to say that now, and I got back from our honeymoon yesterday. That night, my fiance got home from his brother's. I let him sit down and showed him the text. He read it, and I watched his eyes get bigger and expression get angrier. He told me I didn't owe him an apology for anything. We typed up a very brief message. Friend, I'm sorry that you mistook my friendship for something more. The wedding is going to happen, and it'd be best if you didn't attend. To be clear, I let fiance read this message, and he stands by my decision to uninvite you. When he finally responded, it was horrible. He called me a liar for leading him on for over a decade and said he hoped my fiance left me and that we were infertile. It was just horrible thing after horrible thing. My fiance took my phone, and after about an hour, he came back and told me the friend was blocked on everything. Our wedding was absolutely amazing, surrounded by people who truly loved us. Talk about a toxic friendship hiding in plain sight. Honestly, the trash took itself out just in time for the wedding, and it sounds like she dodged a massive bullet. What do you guys think? Have you ever had a best friend confess their feelings right at the worst possible moment? Or were they just looking for attention? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe for more real-life drama. Keeping the momentum going, let's dive into our next post. This one was submitted by Redditor u/throwramotherdoodid, and it's titled, Their Parents Ghosted Them After Their Wedding. I'm married to my former boss. About 9 years ago, I started working as his assistant. We spent about 2.5 years ignoring our mutual attraction until we gave in. We went to HR, who reassigned me, and the whole thing was strictly above board from the time we began dating. I got pregnant about a year later, and we decided to get married. We knew how it would look, but we were in love, and I had to leave the company anyway, so we didn't anticipate this causing issues, except with my parents. My parents have always been overprotective. We decided to be honest with them about the professional nature of our relationship, how we went to HR, and that we wanted them at our wedding. We didn't mention the baby, as I was only 4 months along, and the bump was easily hidden. The wedding itself went off without a hitch, and my parents seemed to take it well. However, they never arrived at the reception. I called them, got ignored, and my brother told me they went home because they were tired and uncomfortable. I tried to contact them later, but I was blocked on everything. 5 years later, I had not heard from them. Recently, I posted about our 5th anniversary on social media, mentioning our 2 kids and a 3rd on the way. Within a month, my parents left a voicemail saying they saw the post and now want to meet their grandchildren. My gut instinct was that 5 years is too long, and it's about the kids, not about them respecting my choices. Update. I asked to talk yesterday. We were on Zoom within an hour. They asked to see the kids, and I said they could see them eventually, dependent on them earning our trust. They read a letter they claimed to have written on my wedding day, saying they were uncomfortable with me marrying my boss and left to avoid a scene, but they felt too ashamed to reach out sooner. I asked why they even came at all if they didn't support the marriage. My dad said he wanted to walk his daughter down the aisle, as it was the only chance he'd get, and it became clear he was thinking about my older sister, who passed away. My husband caught that too, and challenged them on why they waited 5 years to reach out. My dad then snapped and called my husband a coochie, a racial slur. My mother tried to run damage control, but I ended the call. They've messaged me since, trying to explain that calling my husband a racial slur wasn't indicative of a racist attitude, and they should still get to meet the kids. Turns out, they're just racists. If it was just the boss thing, I might have had sympathy, but I am obviously not going to knowingly expose my mixed-race children to a couple of racists. It's almost a relief to find out the truth after all this time. 5 years of silence followed by a racial slur, that's a bridge that's burnt for good. What do you think? Did she make the right call, ending the conversation immediately? Or do you think the parents deserved a chance to explain themselves? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more real-life drama. Keeping the momentum going, let's dive into our next post. This one was submitted by Redditor u/throwra_ring, and it's titled, "They Didn't Know What to Do with Their Ex-Husband's Family Heirloom." They didn't know what to do with their ex-husband's family heirloom. From Redditor u/throwra_ring. My ex-husband and I married too young. It was a classic white wedding with vows and the tradition of passing down a family ring. My ex was given his great-grandmother's wedding ring to give to me on our wedding day. We had a wonderful start, but we both really weren't ready to settle. He cheated on me, and my drinking turned into alcoholism. We divorced, and the ring was never really discussed, so I've kept it all this time. We married at 19 and divorced by 22. Luckily, we didn't have kids. We went our separate ways. He found someone and remarried and had a girl and boy. My journey has been harder. Alcoholism took many things from me, but I kept the old wedding ring. Never pawned, traded, or lost it, even during some really dark times. Even though my marriage ended, it was like a memory of a better time. I've gotten clean, and so far I'm on a long winning streak, getting my life put back together. Through the gossip lines, I found out my ex is still married, and his daughter, their oldest, just got engaged. I still have his great-grandmother's ring. He had talked with me before we even married how he wanted to pass it down to his daughter one day. We haven't talked once after all these years. I don't know if he still wants his daughter to have this ring. Maybe he's forgotten about it. I feel conflicted what to do. It wasn't a good ending. We were so young and stupid and mutually overly entitled. Should I get in touch or let sleeping dogs lie? Mail it as a wedding gift with a card anonymously? Or say it's from me? Edit. Thank you for all your kindness. I will definitely get in touch with him and let him decide where we go from there. Hopefully he'll want to meet face to face. It would be nice to see him after all this time. I'll keep this account up and will give an update if anything happens. Updates. So, small recap, my ex-husband and I exchanged wedding vows and I was given his great-grandmother's wedding ring. We divorced, his cheating, my drinking, and the ring was never discussed and I ended up saving it as a keepsake all these years as a memory of another life I once had. I'm clean now for a long while, and I recently spoke with a friend who knows of my ex's family and brought up how his daughter recently got engaged. I immediately thought of the ring. It was to be passed down to our daughter if we had had children. This being a family heirloom, it compelled me to return it even though it's been decades since my ex and I last spoke and not even sure he'd want it back. After posting here for advice, I decided I needed to do this for his family.
I had the ring professionally cleaned at a jeweler and given a pretty box to put it in. While I was there, I took the advice of one commenter and ordered myself a ring. Instead of an inset diamond, I gave mine a ruby. It was my grandmother's name, and she never gave up on me. And it seemed fitting, considering the other ring belonged to a great-grandmother. I decided to have maybe a cliché engraving of the word forward, because that's how I've made it here to where I am now, by moving forward. My ex lives about 2 hours into town, and I had a girlfriend come with me. First, we drove by, and there weren't any cars, so we grabbed lunch and tried again. This time, someone was home, and I decided to leave things be. I had my friend go up to the door and knock. I saw him open the door. She handed him the package and pretty much headed straight back to the car. He didn't say much, she told me. Seemed a bit confused, but thanked her, and that was it.
I didn't get to see if it made him happy, or if he called his mother saying the ring found its way home. I imagine him beaming while explaining the ring to his wife as he passes it to his daughter. It is fun to imagine. I also imagine a lot of crying and hugging, but that's probably going too far. I had a note with it. I wrote almost exactly what a commenter suggested. It's been an honor and privilege to be part of the history of this ring. Please accept it back with best wishes to your family and to your daughter's engagement. In a way, I kind of like not knowing how everyone reacted. I can daydream about it, my own fairy tale. I didn't include any way to contact me, just my name. I found him and feel if he wants to, he'll find me. But I don't see much point. Our time was short and it ended, and this is probably the best closure I never expected. It makes my heart lighter. Thank you all for helping and sharing this with me. TLDR. After the divorce, I had kept the ring and now I've returned it back home. I probably won't ever know how well it was received, but I imagine happiness, and that's what I'm sticking with. That's a beautiful way to find closure. Honestly, moving forward and letting go of the past like that is exactly the kind of healing we love to see. What do you guys think? Should she have tried to meet him in person, or was the anonymous return the classiest move? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more real life stories.